Good afternoon to all. I welcome you to the second day of the CREACT4MED Annual Conference 2021. Yesterday, we had a very rich and inspiring contribution from all the speakers and panelists that really shed light on the importance of the cultural creative industry as a pillar for economic and societal transformation and resilience for the post-COVID-19 recovery. Today, after the introduction session, we will continue with three specific sessions. One is on regional CCI initiative, the second one on CCI enabling actions and activities, and the third one would be on incubation and acceleration of the CCI. So let me first remind that this conference is live broadcasted on Creative Mediterranean online platform and on social media, mainly on Facebook. And without further ado, I would like to welcome Sophie Huet-Gerich, who is a cooperation officer in charge of youth employment and culture at the EU delegation of Morocco. So I think I would stop here and I give the floor straight to Sophie to give us some introductory remarks. But also I would like to thank all the delegations of the European Union in all the countries of our action for their continuous support and help. Thank you. Sophie, the screen and floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Rym. It is really my pleasure and honor to be here today, joining you since yesterday at the conference. And indeed, as you mentioned, I'm in charge of our cooperation in the cultural, employment and youth sectors. I've been in charge of these sectors in several delegations from the region, and it's always a extremely enriching dialogue and experience in the different countries. And currently, I'm based in Morocco. I, without further introduction, just wanted to share with you the fact that indeed today we will be focusing more on the regional, national context and actions related to supporting the development of the ICCs. And it's my pleasure to share a few highlights of the EU engagement on the ground with regards to the cultural and creative sectors. For us, we see, departing from what was mentioned by Mrs. Schwaiger yesterday, now we think country-based actions, and we see there are two directions. On the one hand, from the perspective of the full recognition of the ICCs as a sector fully contributing to the economy of a country and to the employment in this country, specifically for youth. And we all know how strategic and how important employment for youth is. It is also, we know, a sector of high potential for development and innovation and forward-looking, I would say. With this, we have three main entries. First, supporting national policies through, for example, projects that contribute to the enhancement of the institutional or regulatory environment. For example, we've had here in Morocco a training project with the Ministry of Culture and Communication to support first the development of the legal framework related to the artists and the recognition of their status and protection of their status. And on the other hand, this project supported the reinforcement of national institutions such as the cinema regulatory body, for example. On the other hand, we also have specific projects that target ICCs. And we have today two full examples. First, the CREACT4MED, this ongoing, extremely enriching and important project with specific activities supporting Moroccan operators. And also we'll be talking a bit later today about the project All About Culture, which is equally important for Moroccan ICCs. Finally, in terms of support, we have here as was mentioned yesterday by Ingrid, we have this transversal sector related programs focusing on entrepreneurship, private sector, on youth or employment. All of them, of course, can encompass cultural specific projects and initiatives. And this is, I would say, a call for thinking when we think culture. This shows how we could find cultural support to cultural initiatives and ICCs in all different types of initiatives and programs. And as you know, for us as EU, what are we here? What can we provide? We provide mobilization of expertise. We provide funding, as we all know, through CREACT4MED, for example. And we also provide opportunities to meet and encounter and partner between stakeholders of the cultural and creative sectors. And this is our second, I would say, main motivation for engaging, supporting the ICCs. It is basically by creating opportunities and platforms and possibilities for projects built together by partners from the European countries and from our neighborhood partner countries to for an initiative either that would directly contribute to the relate to the cultural sector. And here I would like to mention the Creative Europe program. This is the flagship European program that has been going on since years and now renewed for the 21-27 period, and for which discussions are currently ongoing between the countries and the European Union to associate to this extremely important program to supporting the cultural and the audiovisual sectors as well, basically providing opportunities for funding projects in partnership together. The second main also initiative, we do not always think about it, but it has proven its interest for the cultural and ICC sector, is Erasmus Plus. Erasmus Plus is the well-known European program supporting mobilities of students and a partnership between higher education and universities, institutions from the EU and other countries. But Erasmus Plus actually focuses, as of this year, also on the vet sector. And basically, this is the opportunity for universities or for vet institutions to partner to, for example, develop a program for capacity building or for training of future specialists of the sector. For example, we've had last year a project focusing on the cinema that was funded under the Erasmus Plus program. All of this just to adds to one last dimension, which is very dear to our heart, is the get together, get connected, get to know each other through some of the major cultural events organized by EU delegations in each of the countries. For example, the European Film Festival. In the case of Morocco, we have the currently ongoing European Week of the Films. We also have music festivals and musical events that all bring together European and Moroccan, in the case of Morocco, or other countries would be the same under the same format, artists to meet and to create together. And these have become regular meetings and regular events that are part of the cultural landscape. For example, the European movie weeks have become the second most important movie event here in Morocco. And we are very proud of this. I will just finish. I mean, and my words by saying that for us, we see in terms of the environment, the main challenges, and I would say the main enablers, is first and foremost the political engagement and the political leadership. This is an essential element. Once this is there, we, as EU, we here fully engaged at the sides of the different stakeholders, would there be institutions, NGOs, or private artists. I will end up here by thanking you for giving me the opportunity to share all our experience, and underlining the fact that we in Morocco are increasingly committed to support the ICC sector. So today is not only for saying what we have, but we're looking forward to going even further in supporting this important sector.
Thank you very much.
Back to you, Rym. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sophie. I am very happy that you mentioned the Erasmus Plus for VET, that is vocational training. And I think this is a great opportunity also to have this partnership between the civil society organizations, incubators, and also universities, particularly that what we're trying to do also in the CREACT4MED is to enhance the role of the universities and to support students with good ideas, ideations, to develop their companies and then to support to the private sector development in their own countries. And I think this is very important to have and to emphasize the role of Erasmus Plus for VET. And certainly this is a great opportunity to have this collaboration, particularly specifically for the CCI. Thank you very much for reminding us this, and also the role of the delegation. And you mentioned the two directions, the regional programs and the national programs. It's essential to have collaboration as much as possible between both to ensure that one is really enhancing the other one. And when we started the CREACT4MED in March 2020, we really ensured that we have this very strong collaboration with all the delegations of the countries that we have been working on for the moment. You know, we finalized, as you know very well, our mapping for the 5 countries. And then we are trying to finish with the other 3 countries of the EU neighborhood. So again, thank you very much for your support to us. And then we will continue our activities and involving you at each level. So then we ensure that these synergies are achieved. Without further ado, I would like to move to the next session. And this is about the regional CCI initiatives. So this is what Sophie has mentioned. We try to line them up to better understand which are the activities of each of those initiatives, what are the challenges they are encountering in the implementation. Particularly, we at least in our initiative, we have been facing the COVID-19 pandemic, so a lot has changed, and we are extremely happy that we have reached this level of advancement despite the difficulties that we have encountered. So I hand over without further ado, and I see the time, to my colleague Cynthia Echave. Please, Cynthia, the screen is yours.
Thank you. So I'm very happy to join the CREACT4MED conference. So my name is Cynthia Echave. I am a project coordinator and senior researcher at the Euro-Mediterranean Economists Association. So my duty today is to moderate the session number 4 of this conference dedicated to regional CCI initiatives. So We have the opportunity to listen in first person the experience and not only the challenges, but also the inspiring stories behind each one of these encouraged initiatives that we will hear. So I will give first the floor to, I would like to present Paolo Zanicchi. He's a program manager at Africative. And he is dedicated to the initiative Africative, and for several years have been working to the West Africa on issues related to social and environmental entrepreneurship. Right now, he's coordinating the Africative program on behalf of Africalia, so in Belgium. So Paolo, please, the floor is yours and welcome. You have 8 minutes.
All right, thank you very much, Cynthia. And thank you very much, all the EMEA team for organizing such an interesting conference and to have invited me to be able to explain more about our incubation experience at Africative. So Africative is an incubation and acceleration program for African cultural and creative scaling up businesses. Which is funded by the Agence Française de Développement, the AFD, and implemented by Africalia. Africalia, so it's a Belgium NGO. We are working with African creative and cultural organization. Africative is also implemented by IEP Conseil, which is the consulting branch of the investment firm Investisseurs et Partenaires, as well with Zoo Culture, based in Senegal, and Baimba Foundation, based in Uganda. So the first phase of the program ran from 2019 to 2021, and we focused on structuring the CCI ecosystem by supporting development, capacity building, and networking of 9 CCI businesses. They were from Burkina Faso, Morocco, Senegal, and then Uganda. In June this year, so 2021, we launched the second phase of the Africative program, recruiting a new cohort of CCI businesses. So we had on the first phase 17 businesses from Burkina Faso, Cameroon, Côte d'Ivoire, DRC, Ghana, Morocco, Senegal, Tunisia, and Uganda. They took part of a 3-month pre-incubation phase, and then 8 of these businesses has been then selected to continue the full 12 months course, consolidating their business models for upscaling and then benefiting from business and creative training and mentorship, accessing investment funding, and as well advice for raising further funds in the equity market. So this second edition will run until October 2022. So the Africative aims to support the emergence of CCI, which create jobs, generate growth, and bring change. A few words about our support program. The incubation we provide to the entrepreneurs is a mix of pedagogic methods. Each entrepreneur will have access to 2 bootcamps attended by the all entrepreneurs from the 7 countries. The first bootcamp has been took place online, and the second one hopefully will take place in person in one of the countries. The program is a tailor-made support, so each entrepreneurs have a distance learning sessions on specific topic, as well as coaching by local incubators. So in Morocco, we work with Bidaya, and in Tunisia, we work with Labes. I really thank them to their work with these entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs will have as well coaching by creative mentors, as well as peer reinforcement and sharing experiences. Each businesses as well receive a direct grant to boost their company's development by consolidating their business model. For example, these grants could provide them to prototyping new products or service. They could recruit qualified staff. They could pay for staff training program. They could acquire some equipments, doing some communication activities, marketing action, etc. During the first program, so that the one that ended this year, so we supported 9 entrepreneurs from 6 CCI subsectors. We had 900 hours of mentoring, 17 e-learning modules, and 2 bootcamp. The first one in person, and then due to COVID, we had to move the second one online. So to promote CCI, beyond this incubation program, we are working on advocacy for investment in African CCI. So following the first edition of the program, we developed, with the help of a consultant based in Burkina Faso, Yarika Maha, and also published a booklet that lays out 4 key arguments for how investment in CCI has a wide-reaching economic, social, and cultural impacts. It also addresses key specificities of the CCI sector to help investors, policymakers, incubators to better understand the sector. So this is the leaflet. You can find it online on our website. So it's africative.fr. You will see it on the resources on the website. So I'll be glad then to answer any question you may have and to maybe go further on the challenges we saw. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Paolo. Indeed, it's a very interesting initiative that you have been developed, and I'm sure that there are a lot of synergies that we can find even with our project. So thank you very much. I will give the floor now for our colleague Ismael Aklou. He's a program manager from Drosos Foundation. He joined to the foundation in 2017. But before, he worked on consulting firms specializing in social, medical, social, and health issues, where he carried out numerous consultancy assignments for public, private, and civil society organizations. He also managed the social assistance program run by the Alliances Foundation in Morocco. And he has master's degrees in Montpellier and intermediation of social development and other organizations and institutions. So, dear Ismael, I give you the floor, and also you have 8 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I will try to share my screen to show you the presentation. Where is it? No, it's not the right one. Here it is.
Okay.
Can you see my screen now?
Yes, yes.
Yes, of course. Just before beginning the presentation, I would have liked to thank you, CREACT4MED, and all the CREACT4MED team for putting up such an interesting event. And what I'd like to have a word on Drosos Foundation. Drosos Foundation is a Swiss foundation which is based in Zurich and present in Lebanon, Jordan, Palestine, Egypt, Switzerland, and Germany. She has been founded in 2003 and active since 2005. We have nearly 132 projects now in all the country of our interventions. through a specific approach of funding, supporting, and advice. The objective of the Drosos Foundation is to enable people to live a life of dignity. To achieve this, the Drosos Foundation targets two main areas of intervention: economic autonomy and youth creativity. And I would have like to now present our CCI program, that is called Open Up. So Open Up is a program who has been developed by Drosos since 4 years now. He has many sector investments: performing arts such as live music, theater, dance, performance in general, design such as graphic expression, fashion, audio, visual works, moving images, recorded music. The target group are adolescents and young adults who are eager to embark on a career in the field of creativity, in particular. Young people who demonstrated the interest and skills for a career in the field of creativity. Young people also who faced obstacles in accessing professional training. Young people who actively are seeking employment and income generating opportunities. And also locally embedded organizations like social enterprises, cultural entrepreneur in particular. Here's the program phasing. So we had 3 moments. The first one was the exploration. Just we tested the ground, assessing the context. We had some workshop in Beirut in 2019. Then we found new partners. Consultancy also. We hired some consultant for the inception phase. Then we have the inception phase. Just like we made a lot of mappings of the actor through all the MENA region. We initiating a community of practices, introducing of 1 hour activity with Tasharuk. I would develop it later. Also Dardashat and collaboration, of course, with partners. And then we had a great workshop in January for the validation. We made the look back and validating all our approach and planned the future events. The outreach, the priority country are the country where the Drosos Foundation shall have direct bilateral partnership with local actors and the form of long-term institutional support. The outreach country are the country also where Drosos Foundation will not engage in bilateral partnership with local partners, but consider that inclusion in Open Up in the form of exchanges or networking is relevant, and affiliated countries of the region. What kind of partnership? We put on direct partnership with actor entities who work with Drosos. Indirect partnership. Actor entities with whom Drosos does not have a bilateral direct partnership but are interested in engaging in the program. And supporting partnership, entities that are considered relevant stakeholders for the successful development of the program, such as academia, donors, community, and private sector. Here's the distribution of the program partner. We have for the moment 4 countries on the program: Jordan, Lebanon, Morocco, and Tunisia. It's just like 30% for Lebanon, 31% for Tunisia, 22% for Morocco, and 17% for Jordan. And then the nature of the project who are supported by the program, 44% in supporting the economic autonomy of young artists, 31% for professional integration in the CCI, and 25% are cultural entrepreneurship incubators. We also work in addition with partnership with university research laboratory, just like Zurich and Lugano, and some festival like Arabesque and Zurich Arab Film Festival. For the impact statement, Open Up aims to emancipate young people to reinforce their social and economic autonomy through opening to them the many opportunities that creativity offers and working toward the common goods. So it's mainly adolescents and young adults who are eager to embark a career on the field of creativity, and locally embedded organizations, just like social enterprises, cultural entrepreneur in particular. We developed the program with 5 strengths and objectives. First one is the creation of a sustainable organization and social enterprises with the competence and capacity to increase opportunities, services, space, and necessary resources. We worked on stimulation and modelization. The objective is to foster success stories in the field of creativity, knowledge and learning opportunities, also creation of opportunities for learning and exchanges to promote support and recognition of the social and economic potential of creativity, and collective action, which the objective is the facilitation and enabling of informal and formal exchanges, mutualization between peers to promote co-creation, advocacy, and other forms of common actions to optimize autonomy and impact. And all initiatives that are working on general interest also by fostering participation of creative actors in society development to ensure a fair of common well-being. The implementation model is divided in 4 phases. The first one was the inception phase, understanding the partner's needs, and I underline the fact that how all of our approach is based on co-production, and also to bringing partners together to make them collaborating, to creating the condition to develop CCIs in the MENA region. The second phase was the implementation, implementing intervention under all the strengths that I've mentioned, expanding also the network of partners and stakeholders, starting to develop leads unit. Then we had transmission. Lead units develop around cultural creative ecosystems, act as driver for Open Up. And at the end, we are working on the autonomy to shift the implementation to local partners and stakeholders. For all the activities, they are divided in 6 parts. The first one is Tasharuk. It's a mobility program providing opportunities for travel and learning. The second one is grants. We support and fund local actors to implement their activities that serve their communities and strengthen their organization. We also have activities just like Dardashat, which is a series of online or conversation offering inspiration and exposure to global discourses. Then we have Ta'awun, that is a support for initiative that fosters collaboration between a diverse range of actors and stakeholders at the national and regional level, and maybe at the international then. We have Ma'lumat that support for research and data collection. And we have a program, an activities on capacity building that is a training program to strengthen the organization capacity, resilience, and impact. A few words on our achievement for 2020 and 2021. 25 partners organizations from Jordan, Lebanon, Morocco, and Tunisia are actively contributing to the program. The creation of a community of practices of more than 20 entities and around 10 experts. As a direct outcome of the community of practices, various collaboration between partners have been created. We have 3 mapping studies completed and disseminated, 1 publication about the economic and social opportunities generated by the CCI sector in the region, which is going to be soon published. 5 online conferences organized and a virtual partners workshop organized to validate the program structure, discuss various ways of collaboration, and plan the next step. And at the end, a mobility program that has been launched between the partners in each country. I will just give some numbers on the program impact and focus on Morocco and Tunisia, because I'm in charge of developing the program for Morocco and Tunisia, because I'm Moroccan program manager for Drosos. Our partner receive several applications, more than 3,000 applications for all the project. Several events and exhibitions were organized, and more than 4,000 people were reached. We have 20 partnerships signed with the partners, by the partners, and with other institutions, and 7 cooperation partnerships between Drosos partners. 122 people have trained in creative and cultural profession, and 98 have found a job in the cultural or artistic field. And the professional integration rate for our projects is 81%. Okay.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Okay, I just have the last 2 numbers. 43 projects are being supervised in cultural incubators, and nearly 52,000 people follow the project on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ismail. Indeed, it's a very interesting experience, this project of Open Up, and for sure it has a very important impact on social return. Thank you. I will give the floor for our next speaker, is Imke Grimme. She's head of the project Fantasmi on cultural and creative industries at the Goethe Institute in Lebanon. She has a background in cultural anthropology and language, and she gained experience through different countries such as Morocco, Burkina Faso, Yemen, Germany, and currently she's settled in Lebanon. Her fields of expertise and interest are basically on adult education, community building, youth, and women empowerment in the field of international development cooperation, and capacity development in cultural management, international cultural cooperation, and creative industries. So, Imke, we welcome you, and you have it as well. Thank you very much. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Cynthia, for introducing me. And thanks a lot to EMEA to invite the Goethe Institute to give a contribution to this very inspiring exchange and conference. My position is being a MENA CCI coordinator for the Goethe Institute, and I'm head of design-related project called Fantasmi in the subsector of design, but I will go more into details about it later on. So the structure of my contribution is the following. I will first of all say a couple of words about the approach of the Goethe Institute in the field of CCI in general. Then I will give a brief overview about what we do in the field of CCI worldwide. Then I give some examples from the MENA region. And then I will finalize my contribution with some questions, remarks related to my current experience in Lebanon. So the approach of the Goethe Institute in the field of cultural and creative industries is as having a vision and mission to promote cultural and linguistic diversity. We have a quite strong value-driven approach towards what we do. For us, culture is the fundament of any given society and a driver for societal change. When we work together with the local cultural scenes, our activities are based on the local context, the needs, and the potentials. We are engaged in cultural and creative industries in order to support the local cultural scenes and to contribute to develop job perspectives for creatives. In many countries, artists and cultural producers are struggling a lot to keep the sector alive and to sustain, also without a pandemic like COVID. Especially in these contexts, it is crucial to create economic perspectives. A lot of what we do is contributing to foster the cultural and creative industries, also indirectly. For example, when we organize since 2009, intense training and networking programs for cultural managers worldwide. As cultural managers are those professionals who are needed to build the solid bridge between the artistic and the management field, especially when it comes to an intended economic impact. In different world regions, the Goethe Institute is active in several CCI subsectors, receiving funds from different donors or also through sponsoring. A brief overview is First of all, on an organizational and institutional level, what we are doing, I really sum up, because also, as the other previous speakers have already mentioned very much in detail the projects, I will wrap up a bit more in general and then come to very small examples. So on an organizational or institutional level, we do cooperate with festivals in the field of music, film, dance, animation, gaming, theater. We cooperate with book fairs, publishing houses, libraries, radio stations. We cooperate with design fairs. We work with museums and institutions related to architecture, archiving, and cultural heritage. And we cooperate with universities to promote the development of CCI-related curricula. On an individual level, which is for sure also often linked to the organizational or institutional level, we offer trainings, incubators, networking, mentoring, competitions, accelerators, hackathons, and pitches to creatives and cultural entrepreneurs. We establish and equip creative hubs together with local partners. We offer production, travel, and incubation grants, residencies for artists and cultural producers. So to sum up, we offer access to training and qualification, finances, spaces, and networks or experts, and we foster visibility. I think this is quite important to mention, as the previous speakers have focused on the different pillars which are needed to be promoted in the CCI. And we as Goethe Institute, we foster mainly this training, qualification, finances, and spaces fields. So some examples from the MENA region. Since 2019, we are implementing together with GIZ in Iraq, Jordan, and Lebanon, as well as in 3 African countries, a 4-year-long project financed by the German Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development, which aims for improving the prospects for employment and income for cultural and creative professionals. The mainly supported subsector in MENA is design. Why design? Why do we focus on design in this region? Design is a cross-cutting sector and has strong ties to other clusters like music, gaming, visual art, media art. And also designers can contribute to innovative ways of cooperation, co-creation, and co-production. For example, using design thinking as a methodology, as an approach. And this can be used not only in an artistic, but also in organizational, societal, and political fields to promote civil society, for example. So to come to very concrete projects which we are currently implementing in the region, in Jordan we have Takwin, a project implemented by the Goethe Institute, focusing on food design, on product design, and establishing a creative industry hub for designers living and working in Jordan. We have in Iraq the project Khan al-Fan, focusing on design branding, setting up also a creative space, and establishing an academic design program. In Lebanon, we have Fantasmim, the project I'm heading. We focus very much on design and social entrepreneurship with a strong focus on ecological sustainability. On a regional level, we have EBTEDI, which is a regional e-learning and knowledge sharing platform for CCI actors. We also do try as much as possible to link like people, experts, participants between the 3 countries in order to build up a strong network. In the Gulf region, just to mention another example from this region, we implemented the Sawa Museum Academy, a training and networking program for museum professionals. We have the Culture Radio Palestine project, which is supporting the local radio professionals and the cultural scenes. We do cooperate with European Union film festivals in the MENA region in general, and we offer residencies and trainings for filmmakers. And we also implement projects to support the upcoming fair fashion scenes in MENA.
You have 2 minutes, Simke, sorry.
Yes. And I'm about to finish. My last point is to raise some questions and remarks from my current experiences in Lebanon related to the challenges also. So I just read them out briefly. It's how can we set up sustainable programs together with CCI stakeholders which are long-lasting in terms of their results and impacts? How can we support CCIs in very uncertain and unpredictable contexts? Which approach is helpful to work in context of intense economic, political, and social crisis? is constant adaptation, flexibility, and adjusting the new normal? What can give us stability and continuity in an often too fast changing environment? And last but not least, how might CCI promoters gather forces in a fruitful way and develop joint programs for a better sharing of knowledge and resources? For example, might we build CCI clusters in different regions, and then, for example, in this MENA region? And the more I'm listening to speakers and contributions like of this conference, I'm very much convinced that we should gather more forces, because there's many amazing initiatives, but why don't we work closer together? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Imke. Very interesting point and highlights that you were remarking. And of course, it's a relevant role of cultural and creative industries precisely on the behavioral change that they can encourage to society. So I will give the floor to our next speaker, is Yihen Boutima. She's General Director of BusinessMed, the Union of Mediterranean Confederations of Enterprises. Yihen, she has a very wide experience on international relations and has been for more than 50 years related to this sector. She previously worked at the US Department of State in Tunisia within the political and economic section for foreign brands, assistant on the economic support funds. Right now, she's leading several European projects, and today she will explain us in a glance the ESBOMED and SOLID project. So welcome, Yihen. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Cynthia. Can you hear me well?
Yes, very good.
Okay, so the last one has the less time, I think. So I will go directly to the point, and I will jump in on what Imke said. So after my presentation, indeed, I'm not leading the project. It's the organization, which is BusinessMed, and we represent the private sector and the social partners, which is the employers part, working with the trade union and the governments in terms of policy and regulation. And this is the project SOLID, which is South Mediterranean Social Dialogue. So we go working on the ground, because for us is the first step is the discussion with the government to raise the voice, and particularly the voice of the private sector to the governments, in order to work on legal framework, to work on the regulation, to ameliorate the situation, particularly for the youth employment and for gender, in terms of entrepreneurship. So the first discussion goes through this social dialogue in terms of multi-stakeholder approach. So we go from the scratch with NGOs, trade unions, employers organization, local authorities, municipalities, and all these multi-stakeholders hold several aspects, and one of them is the culture, of course, and the CCIs. And you know that particularly the new generation is a lot aspirant in terms of design, on textile, on digitalization. So this is a new approach. And then we worked directly with all what we bring on the floors and the proposal to the governments. This is one of our major projects with this SOLID. And then one of them, and the other project is enhancing business support organization. And this, the other hat of BusinessMed, which is the business part. And this project is, of course, also working on all these CCIs, but in terms of capacity building, in terms of training, in terms of having all these B2Bs helping the entrepreneurship, and always under the aspect of insisting on youth and gender particularly, and we work on the textile, on the tourism with our partners within the project, on entrepreneurship action, on agro-food, on digital startups, on arts. But all these bring us 3 years of project with 6,000 partnership that has been made and has been mobilized through the 3 years of the project. So our 3 main words are enhancing and support and strengthening the business support organization, and having the role of the private sector, which is one of the major creator of the employment in the South Mediterranean region, having the most important aspect. So why are jumping in what Imke said? So we have to work hand in hand as a multi-stakeholders, and seeing all these projects and all this information that has been presented yesterday and today, we have to stick on this kind of project and an initiative like CREACT4MED to have this platform and discuss all together what we already, most of us are doing a part, and join in one platform and move forward, and not having each one working by his own. So the multi-stakeholder approach is one of the major important aspects for us. So thank you, Cynthia. I didn't take so much time, right? So if you have any question, just get back to me.
Yes, actually, because I think it's very relevant what you're commenting, and the role of private sector, it's a very key on the encouragement of this sector. And also to comment that BusinessMed is one of the project partners of CREACT4MED. So we are counting with them in the development and in the implementation. So I'm sure that on the oncoming activities, we will see this multiple stakeholder engagement that you are talking. Exactly. So I think so. Thank you very much for the speakers. We have a bit of time just to have some questions from the. I don't know if we have some questions on from the audience. Well, I think that just to highlight, according to the reflections that Paolo, Ismail. Okay, so we have one. It's what can be done to enhance collaboration between the initiatives, regarding your experience and what you have been hearing, not only from you, but other type of initiatives. Which type of synergies do you think that would be necessary to build or to work on? Any of you, if you want to, okay. Who wants to start? Paolo.
Maybe just a few sentences. I think that the first step is what we are doing today. That's like learning and understanding what the other initiative in the region and the continents are, and who are the actors. So I think this is the first step for me, for us, that what's on the ground, what are the initiatives, and for Africative, as we are working with entrepreneurs as well, it's really important to know who are the actors, what are they doing, and to link different initiatives, because we at Africative, we work with Morocco and Tunisia, but as well with some other countries in West Africa and East Africa and Central Africa. And I think this could help as well initiative in the MENA region to draw some, to do some conclusion and to see the differences and to be able to draw up good practices. And I think the conference that we are having today, it's a first step of creating these synergies.
Thank you, Paolo. I don't know if someone wants to add more to this reflection, or to think, for example, how to scale up, precisely what you were saying. I mean, this type of synergies, or which other element do you think that would be necessary to scale up an initiative and to spread into more among other areas? Or I don't know, from your experience, I mean, not only the sustainability of the initiatives, but also to be able to scale it up.
Yeah, I would just like to add on like two aspects. I think what is crucial, and I'm really talking about my very personal professional experience, and I need to change this habit myself. Like taking the time when we like conceptualize and plan and programs, we should like it's a very easy thing, but it's very crucial and it's not often done. We should take the time to really look at what are others doing, and then take the time to integrate this in the conceptualization phase of any project or activity. I think like when it's worth it. I mean, so this is one. And a second is what I think would be amazing if we can come up with a way how to find out what are the strengths of every initiative, of every like CCI promoter, and then like, you know, assemble the puzzles, like the pieces of the bits of puzzles. Like we do very similar things, but at the same time, everybody has its own strengths. So who is, for example, an expert in incubators or accelerators? Who has more like bigger funds for grants? Who is like more into networking or giving visibility? Or who is more into, I don't know, coaching and mentoring? Or who is more into matching, pitching with investors? So I think, yeah, this is mainly it, my 2 points, like taking the time and then the focused way of finding out who is doing what and how can we assemble these pieces.
Yeah, mapping the sector and have enough knowledge to complement each other. Yes, and I don't know if Ismail or Yehem, you want to highlight some about.
Yes, according to what Paolo and Imken have just said, I think also that mainly the mapping of the actor is something that is that is really relevant from the sector. We have noticed that most of the initiative doesn't know about the other ones, and the second point is also that putting in place a program to reinforce the capacities of the local actors, and also trying to work on advocacy by touching and put in light that CCI sectors is really relevant for professional integration, especially for youth, to local authorities also, I think.
Okay, very good. And finally, how do you think digitalization could also help to have these or strengthen these the synergies among the initiatives? Or you think that it is already
I think the digitalization is something that is very important, but most of the projects that we are supporting are using digital tools and digitalization just like a main objective of their own project. Maybe it's something that has to be reflected in common, and putting in place some platforms to exchange and to trying to sell also artistic and creative products.
Okay, and I just wanted to also highlight, because some of you mentioned and repeat this about the one part, the social impact that has CCI on society, and especially on behavioral change. So when we are tackling other type of issues is related to the community, or related to, you can mention gender, or we could also be like Paolo was saying, sustainability and IMCA as well. So what do you think that from your experience, it's if it is easy to show and to and measure this impact? I mean, how the return on society, because this is one of the relevance of introducing CCI and making a more cross-cutting approach with other type of disciplines. And just to finalize our reflection with this.
Yeah, and I will just jump in one thing, Cynthia, something you don't have to forget in the South Mediterranean region, which is the informal work. So when you are talking about the gender and the culture and CCIs, most of them are informal work in the region. So what you have to do, I can see, and we can all see today that you are all discovering each other. You are all discovering that you're working in the same CCI's project, but each one by his own. So what asking Rym, what is the digitalization? You have to make a kind of website, a digital market on, of course, the mapping is extremely important, not only on what is happening in each country, on each CCIs, but also what all the donors are doing in this part. And then after this, you can do a kind of international fair and have them all in place with all this website digitalized as a marketplace. But of course, as getting back to the social part, informal work in the South Mediterranean region, and not only in the South Mediterranean region, also in the European side, it's extremely high. I mean, a number we cannot even have exact number, and you cannot say that this is a business support organization 100% because it's not in the legal framework. It's working as an informal place. So social part, it's extremely important also to have a look at.
Thank you, Jihan.
I also want to add on.
Yes, please, Imke.
Yeah, because I was highlighting this aspect a lot in my contribution, this social and value-driven approach we are having, and for sure all of you, I assume as well. I think measuring social impact or even cultural impact, not on the economic level, but on this like social level, and it takes time and it's very difficult to measure, and I think it's even not measurable. Like and we need to accept this, and this is also the good thing about it. I think it's like it's an open process. Like we give input, we foster scenes, we promote the scenes and everything, but at the end it's like it's not in our hands, and this is all about social and human life, no, and about culture. It's an open process.
Thank you. I think Rym was highlighting as well. Do you have indicators to assess performance of your initiatives? Ismail's talk about some of them. I don't know.
Yeah, yes, I think in terms of professional integration, the fact that 21%, 81% are finding jobs at the end of the training in the CCI sector is for us a way to bring a response to the needs of the youth of the country that we are working with, and specifically, I think what you were saying, Imke, on the assessment of the social impact can be done but with time, and we have to use just like some new forms of KPIs, news of innovative KPIs, maybe by using anthropology and sociology to show in a long-term perspective what is really the impact for a person in his lifetime. But I think it's not something that we have to let just like this, but something that we have to work on.
Yeah, because in the process of putting value to the sector,
exactly,
sometimes it's useful to have a few indicators that we can assess.
Yes, you can have some quantitative indicators, but they are mostly linked to the economical performance or the professional integration one. But in terms of changing individuals, that's more complex, I think, but it's possible.
I agree. So we will need to make more observations, Imke.
Exactly.
Thank you, Ismail. So I think that if you, I don't know, Paolo, if you want to make a final, we're just in time. So I think we have no more questions.
I just want to thank you, Ismail, for this very important aspect. Me myself being a cultural anthropologist, I completely agree with you for sure. Said that measuring these kind of impacts, like the qualitative or like social or cultural impacts, need a lot of time and need like cross-cutting cooperation. Like on the one hand, we can measure the economic impact for sure. We can like track our alumni, like after 1 year, after 2 years, or even longer, like where are they now? Like, but are they still in the CCI sector or not? And like, even if they change their job or their career, but are they still in the CCI sector? This is, I think, one very important indicator. And on the one hand, we should link these programs to, further like broader horizons. Absolutely, I completely agree.
Okay, so thank you very much to all of you, and congratulations for your great projects and initiatives, and we encourage you to follow and to be in contact with us. So now we have a 5 minutes break, so we can have a short coffee break, or if you need to do something, and we will be back in 5 minutes. Thank you. Hello, so welcome back to our second day of the CREACT4MED annual conference. So I will give the presentation for the session number 5, dedicated to enabling CCI actions. And so let me introduce you the moderator of the session. She's Hannah Lakhda. She's Managing Director at Positive Agenda Advisory. Hannah is an advocacy and business development executive strategy firm aiming at helping their clients in the growth strategy. Hannah specifically has over 15 years of experience developing good knowledge in consultancy, business development, and public policy implementation in expertise in strategy, organization, and transformation. She has been working since a public servant since 2010 in Morocco, and also has been part of international institutions as the World Bank. So Hannah, welcome you, and I give you the floor. Thank you.
Thank you, Cynthia. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our guest to this 5th session on this conference. This session is dedicated, as you mentioned, Cynthia, to the CCI enablement and actions, and more precisely, everything that can help the ICC be more structured and scale up, actually, as we discussed it in the previous panel. Maybe a few words before giving the floor to our guests about the enablers and action levers about the creative and cultural industries. We will be tackling and discussing a lot of potential enablers, among which we have the maybe legal environment, the policy making related to the ICC. We also have everything that's related to funding, since indeed for scaling up that kind of activities, very often we are facing barriers related to finance and funding, and business plan, to speak the language. So this could be also linked to everything around manpower, about skills for making the industry or the handcraft a business, or a viable business. Other type of enablers might be related to the tax environment, and also the incubation environment around that kind of activities. So with no further ado, I'm going to introduce our first guest to that round table. His name is Soufiane Zanifi. Can we put him on the screen? So Soufiane has a long experience of over 20 years in the creative industry. He directed the production of a Mawazin Festival, one of the 10th largest festivals in the world. And he worked with a large amount of greatest artists in the world. He also ventured in many entrepreneurial endeavors, from education to audio visual production, esports, and music. And his wish is to change the narrative around Morocco and Africa, around the ICC, or CCI in English, sorry, potential to foster youth employment, notably. Please, Soufiane, the floor is yours. Thank you for joining us, and you have around 6 to 8 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Hannah. Thank you. Thanks for everyone. Thanks for having me. As many of my colleagues, speakers have shared a lot of information about CCI in Morocco, about ICCs also in Morocco, during the mapping, during a lot of other talks. So I just want to start by introducing our federation. Our ICC Federation in Morocco was created in 2017, and it's affiliated to the the CGM, which is let's say the federation of all the private companies in Morocco, and we held our first General Assembly on 2019. We are operating in 8 sections, in music, in live entertainment, cultural venues, visual art and painting, book publishing, audiovisual production, cinema, and lately events production. So the goal of our federation is, the main goal, let's say, is structuring and professionalizing the ICC sector. And since we started, we try to promote the ICCs as a full industry that can bring business and value and also generate employment. And our biggest challenge was to convince that that what we are saying, that the culture can be treated like any other economical sector, and can aspire, and culture can aspire also, and ICCs can aspire to have a specific development strategy, like we have, for example, in Morocco for the agriculture or aeronautics or any other businesses. But we faced a lot of things. The most things we faced are the lack of data, because it's also something that is faced in many other countries in the Mediterranean region. Data is not easy to find. It's not centered somewhere. We cannot just pick a database and sort it and have all the information we need. So the lack of data is one of the biggest issues for our initiatives in Morocco. The second thing is, which is one of the subjects I'm trying to work on since years now, is the identification of the cultural workers. And later on, I'm gonna dive on this to give you more details. And last thing also, and there's something also, is the inefficient of the existing laws, because we have laws, but they are not efficient. We have, let's say, old-fashioned laws that cannot follow the development of ICCs in Morocco, in our country. There's also the topic of the rights for all the producers or the musicians or the artists. So it's also a big topic that we are facing. So let's go back to the identification of the CCI employees. In Morocco, we estimate the CCI employee workers for like around 100,000 people, and this includes individuals. And one of my colleagues said that there's a serious problem also, even in Morocco, is that most of these individuals are informals. So it's so hard to attract them, to register them, to have the data on them. So it's not specific to Morocco, but I think to all the region. We have also the non-profit organizations who works in culture, and finally we have the private companies. So why I'm talking about the identification, because it's the start of everything. If we don't have clear identification of the workers, of the specific CCI workers, we cannot help, we cannot plan, we cannot build a strategy, we cannot do anything if we don't have a clear data on this. So just to give you an example, during the COVID lockdown, and after months of starving, our government approved a program to help the CCI workers by giving something like $220 per month for a few months, just to try to help people. And for the private companies, the government approved two types of bank credits that are guaranteed by the states. And it was not as easy as this to have access to the banking for the CCI companies. And the biggest challenge was how to identify those people, how to identify the individuals, and how to identify the companies. Because in our country, we don't have any specific process to register as a CCI company. So the only way to sort those people is to have a huge database and try to check it one by one, line by line, and see if we know these people. And the easiest to sort were some few individuals who were registered at as cinema workers in the Moroccan Cinematographic Center, and those who had an artist ID. It's also a mechanism that we have in Morocco. We can have an artist ID, and it's not that much. But now we can say that in Morocco we have 10,000 people who have this card. And for non-profit organization and private companies, it was not easy. So we don't have any specific tool to register, as I said. That means that just to give you an example, you can be a dentist during the day and in the afternoon participating in a non-profit organization to produce a festival or something like this. Or you can have a fish exporting company, I love this example, and produce a song or publish a book. That means that if there's a program specific to CCI workers, you cannot be in it, as we don't have a specific way to identify those people. It's so hard to build something around this. And the image is not as dark as this, because we just have a new government. And the most interesting is that the actual Minister of Culture is using the wording we've been promoting since years, which is very helpful for us. And now the government is talking about culture as an industry, and the necessity to build an inclusive strategy that can help ICC to be, and also they're aiming to treat culture as an or ICC globally as an economic sector. So we think that we reached a point where we need to clarify the scope of ICCs. I think, as many of my colleagues said, there's a difference between different categories. Let's say in ICC in Morocco, for example, in some countries, they include design, they include handcraft, they include a lot of things. And now I think that in Morocco, it's time to clarify this, so we have a clear vision on what's in ICC and what's not. And even this classification can move. We are adding esport and gaming in ICCs in Morocco. So this can move, but this cannot be efficient if we don't have an ICC workers status. As I said, we have an artist ID, which is for artists, but also for managers and people around. But it's not easy to have this card, and it's not linked to a specific ID that can help you to have tax rebate or to have access to bank credits or anything like this. So we need also to amend existing and non-efficient laws. And the actual minister is also, I think, is working on this topic also. And
Sophia, I'm so sorry, you have 1 minute left. Huh?
Okay,
1 minute left, please. Thank you.
So the most important thing also is that we are starting to talk about PPPs in the CCI field in Morocco. What's interesting also is that the cultural minister have ordered a study that will end by creating an econometric tool that will show the ROI that can be expected while we invest in any ICC initiative. With this tool for us will be very helpful to convince the public policy decision and the decision makers, and also that will help us to have clear and specific data. So what would I say also is, in Morocco we have a new development model that would be revealed a few months, and this new development model puts culture like an ICC is like an important field that should be developed. So in post-COVID, just to give you an overview, to give you an image about what's happening now in Morocco. So cinema production is back as tax rebates is efficient. Audio and visual production restarted. Art exhibitions restarted timidly. Books release restarted. I think that the lockdown productions are releasing now. Live entertainment is still off, and all just to close what I'm saying, I think that all the ICC sector need a boost, and also as many companies are still paying credits, and most of them don't have teams to produce. And we all know that to start production, we need a team, and we need at least 3 to 6 months to start production. And just to talk about money, it's bizarre to when we talk about money in culture, we are ashamed, which is not. I don't know how to say it, but culture cannot live without money. So we don't have to be ashamed to talk about money. If we don't have money, we will not have anything. We will not have any culture or CCI or anything. So the banking sector should help. We should have a law for with new laws with tax initiatives, tax incentives, and I think that if we don't inject, if we don't put money on the CCI field in Morocco, it will never grow. And I think that it's time to have a clear vision and a clear strategy. And we are waiting for our new minister to reveal his strategy in next few months. Thank you.
Thank you, Soufiane. Thank you so much for your contribution. Yeah, good luck with the whole field in Morocco. We are welcoming now our next guest, who is Mrs. Salwa Abdel Khaliq. Does she show on the screen? Yes. So Salwa Abdel Khaliq is Director General of the Tunis International Center for Digital Cultural Economy in Tunisia. She has a law bachelor degree, and she graduated from the National School of Administration of Tunis and of the International Academy of Governance. She is an Alexo expert in the field of cultural and creative industries, and she is also a certified trainer from the World Bank on the subject of access to information and open data. Welcome, Salwa. The floor is yours. Thank you so much for giving us your time. And please.
Hello, my screen is, you see my screen? I share with you my screen.
It might take a bit to see your screen. I can't see it yet. Yes, it works. Thank you. I can make a full screen. Then yes, it's perfect. And you have also around 8 minutes.
Thank you, Hannah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hannah, for very much for this presentation, and thank you, Rym, also for this opportunity to present Tunisia Cultural Ministry effort for promote CCI vector, not only as a social vector, which is a very important, sure, but also as an economic vector, which has an added value and contribution to promote tourism sector, employability, jobs, and sector, other economic sector. We do not forget here the importance for digitalization of to promote and conserve culture content and heritage. Then I start my presentation with the conviction of Culture Tunisian Ministry that is a promoter vector for vector economic. And I start with an observation that is financial and social crisis impacting economic activities such as pandemic crisis and the economic crisis which been at 1998. And yet in this gloomy context, cultural consumption is increasing. The cultural offer available via internet is exploding. Then creative, we can observe that creative culture debate, the creative industry usually cover a broader scope than traditional artistic domains with the inclusion, for example, of ICT industries or research and development. The framework approaches this problem by means of the incorporation of two domains, audiovisual and interactive media, and design and creative service. The speakers are introduced the definition of a creative industry, and I will focalize it for the characteristic of the cultural and the creative industry, which are digital technology is at the heart of all activities. The interaction between economic which generate employment and culture, which generate value, meaning, and identity. Creativity at the heart of the activity. The other characteristic that the production of goods and services frequently protected by intellectual property and public demand and behaviors that are difficult to anticipate in this sector of CCI. This sector is marked by the predominance of micro enterprise. That's why we can observe that everything becomes cultural in our days. Expanding the culture feeds through the integration of culture and creativity. In Tunisia, before Tunisia, we observe we can that CCI participate for 3% of world GDP, but in Tunisia it participates less than 1% of Tunisian GDP. On the other hand, Tunisia ranked the first in Africa and the sixth in the Arab world in terms of entrepreneurship index. What's the problem? Why we have a strategy for the development to develop CCI sector. This strategy related to international cooperation, alternative funding, intellectual property, promotion of cultural entrepreneurship, promotion of private investment and public-private investment. And on the other hand, digital, as we are convicted that digital as a lever for the creation and dissemination of culture and creative content. The Ministry of Cultural Affairs during the last 4 years has chosen to orient itself toward the new technology, supporting the creative industry and encouraging the digital culture economy through the creation of a new specialized institution, which is the Tunisian International Center for Digital Culture Economy. The Tunisian International Center is indispensable actor in the economic and social cultural development of Tunisia. It supports culture and creative startups that promote competitiveness and generate added value and jobs. It supports for cultural and creative industries by supporting initiatives to promote cultural content and heritage through digital technology and innovation. Culture as a promoter, then economic vector. Our missions in the center is the development of the Tunisian economy through the opportunities offered by new technology, promote and value Tunisian culture through its digitalization, and make culture digital innovation as an economic choice, just like a technological innovation. This mission we start with and we do with many activities in the center related to the training center incubator of a cultural startup. Our Center for Study Research and Documentation, our administrative innovation lab, and our cooperation and partnership center. Since its launch, TIC this year has been one of the key players in Tunisia's entrepreneurship ecosystem. And our incubated and supported startup are included in the map of the startups labeled by Entrepreneur Tunisia. Our center, we have the incubator, we have the co-working space, we have chroma key studio, sound studio, hub room, all things that needs startup to develop their project. And we act our project, and we acting in a large ecosystem that include the private and public universities, association, institution of the Ministry of Culture Affairs, incubator, and supporting and organization. We have carried out several programs since 1919, such as Thaqafa 4.0, which means culture for 4.0. It's our first event for the center in the culture city in Tunisia, and our second event, it will be in 2020, and it is the first CCI event in Tunisia. And in 2021, actually, we have did our we have wanted our field of intervention for regional Arab and international fields, and this is the first event, the first Arabic event related to culture economy, culture economy, digital culture economy. We have participated in several programs such as My Global Village, the International Labour Organization, and other program, local or international program. And we have made our event in the PDME, such as many webinars, and our program of Basamet, it's another program. Other program, we have another program linked to all Tunisian regions, which called 24 Culture. And we have the main programs for incubation, and we are a pre-incubation and an incubation center. Some numbers of statistics of our activities in 2019 and 2020, and we start in January our third cohort for incubation to our startup in cultural digital field. Then I can finish by ask for many questions and to search the solution for this question, how to strengthen the ensuring of innovation in cultural government, how to tie the different links of the value chain to technological innovation, how through innovation can we support the emergence of high performance and accessible creativity locally and on the global market. The campaign to digitize public documents, the research carried out to improve the structuring and indexing of a document, the reflection on user interfaces, and the mastery of legal questions are still to this day the main areas of reflection and collaboration of the structured cultural organization involved in these projects. To understand the change at work, it is necessary to go beyond technological determination. Then in Tunisia, we ask still for many things. We have a law for startups, a new law for crowdfunding, but we still waiting. But we are still waiting for the implementation text. A law for auto entrepreneur, and we waiting for the implementation of this law. A law for the solidarity and social economy. And we wait also for the implementation for this law. We have technological skills, consciousness, rich culture, content, and heritage. Then we make a better future. But we look for cooperation, for promoting our startup and opening our market for the world and international markets. Thank you for attention, and see you later. This is our.
Thank you, Salwa. Thank you so much for your presentation and for all the topics and the amazing work in Tunisia from the center. We're welcoming now our next guest. Her name is Natalia Menhal. Is she on the screen? Yes. So Natalia is the founding partner and consultant at Beyond Group in Lebanon. She holds a doctorate in pharmacy from Saint Joseph University in Beirut. And she has a master's in environmental policy planning from the American University of Beirut. She has been working a lot with policy, around policy-making initiatives in the MENA region, around issues related to constitutional development, civil society, social entrepreneurship and innovation, youth, women, and local governance. She also has worked with numerous donors and international organizations to leverage her expertise in the socio-economic development, moreover on the local governance and community empowerment. towards developing solutions for improved livelihoods for women, youth, and vulnerable communities. She's also a visiting lecturer at Beirut University Saint-Joseph, where she teaches a course on social entrepreneurship ecosystem building, and she also contributed to a chapter in related to social incubation and the value proposition of social business incubator in a book that you can see on the screen. Thank you very much, Natalia, for being here, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Hannah, for the introduction. Hello, everyone, and good to hear all of these brilliant initiatives and programs. I'll be speaking more on the overall context of the Lebanese CCI, of CCI in Lebanon. I know there are some of the participants who are part of initiatives and programs and who have also been leading and running programs for startups in those sectors in general. So happy to see them as well, or see their names. So I'll just start, I think, Lebanon overall, and I know that Yagane maybe yesterday covered this quickly. Lebanon is a country that is known for its cultural and creative industry in general. It has been one of the main sectors, or one of the sectors that's been contributing to GDP in general and to employment, but also to promoting Lebanon's name worldwide. This has been mostly through sectors or subsectors related to fashion design, to jewelry design, to, if food is part of this conversation, then definitely there is art in food, as well as media production in general. There's a lot of advertising and a lot of audiovisual and movie creation or production happening in Lebanon, as well as a bit in the music industry as well. So overall, we've been known for this. I think some of the designers are globally acknowledged, and this has been creating a lot of good input, whether from an impact perspective or from an economic perspective. I think the overall value of the sector has been growing. And this has also been aligned with a lot of programs at universities. So there are a lot of creative or cultural related topics or majors in universities, which has made it quite important, and which has contributed as well to building both intellectual and human capital in the country that has, as I mentioned, been able to contribute in general to the sector's growth and to the sector becoming renowned. Before I get to currently where we stand, I think a lot of the people who are here know the current situation in which Lebanon is. But before I get to that, and I decided to start with the positive aspects, because we've been starting with the negativity whenever we're talking about the country. So it's good to see the bigger picture and how much opportunity comes with the sector, especially as a lot of the entrepreneurship initiatives have been also embracing the sector as one of the sectors in which they've been developing programs, but also creating incentives in general for the country. So some of the challenges that have been around for some time are related particularly to the issue of access to markets, access to financing. I know one of the speakers mentioned the issue of money. So definitely it's a sector that requires input in terms of financial investment, but it's important as well for it to grow and to scale up and to actually get to the global levels and the global scales that it could reach. It requires some investment there. And historically, the issue of access to markets and access to financing and how the sector is portrayed or is included within the laws in general and regulations has always been or have always been impediments, if I may say, or barriers to really achieving the full potential of the sector. this has always been a bit countered by the talents that exist in the country. And so historically, there's been a kind of a balance up until recently, where the crises hit the country in mass. I won't go into the details of these crises. So just quickly, the currency devaluation, the Lebanese currency that lost around 90% of its value. Of course, COVID-19 and the fact that there has been lockdowns, and that a lot of the infrastructure or a lot of the spaces that allowed for such activities to happen had to shut down or go on lockdown. But also the fact that a lot of these places had to let go of people, and so there has been a wide percentage of, or a higher percentage of unemployment, and people having to leave their jobs in these industries, particularly, especially that I think this was covered as well. A lot of the employment in these industries is employment that's very vulnerable and at risk, being informal or being self-employed, kind of contractual basis, if I may say that. So a lot of people were let go. A lot of people had lost their jobs because of the volatility of the sector. And to top it all, the port blast that occurred on August 4th, which left a big part of the city destroyed. And these parts of the city were essential, or were a big vein of the cultural and creative industry. So there was a lot of creations that were happening and that are happening in the city. Unfortunately, so a lot of the sector, the veins of the sector are related to the capital. There's been very little decentralization work that has happened in this sector particularly. And so Beirut represented a big vein and a big component and the big chunk of the sector. And so with the blast and the city being destroyed to large extents, a lot of people who are in the sector, a lot of designers, a lot of these places were destroyed and had to restart again. And so all of these pushed a lot of the creative people outside of the country, looking for opportunities both to get in what we're calling fresh dollars, so dollars that aren't affected by the currency and the banking crisis, but also to look for wider opportunities and to maintain their businesses and to, as much as possible, maintain the people who are part of the businesses. So whatever businesses were already in the creative and cultural industry in Lebanon have had to deal and adapt, if they could, to a lot of changes and a lot of issues to be able to survive. And so the ones that mostly did that through going abroad or looking for markets abroad that could provide them with input, particularly financial, to be able to sustain. So this is overall where we stand now. The good thing is that and I won't take a lot of time, but just to give you, so there is a lot of potential in the industry. And one of the things that has started happening, maybe very in a shy way to a certain extent, was to really try to integrate the sector, or these components from the sector and the talent that was in the sector across other sectors as well. So be it in the food industry, be it in different kinds of industries. So it's important as well to some of the things that we thought of. So definitely the issue of regulations need to happen. Unfortunately, given the political dynamic as well in the country, the space for cultural activities and creativity has been becoming more and more restrictive. One of the things in the laws is related to censorship, for example. This has prevented a lot of activities to take place. And so this is becoming more repetitive. And so definitely for Lebanon, the issue of regulation is a very important and core element in terms of easing up the space and really incentivizing and motivating people and providing just a positive space for people and a positive environment for people to operate in. So this is one big chunk that should happen. And I know, as I said, there are a lot of actors who are already doing that. Unfortunately, there's very limited coordination between these actors. government is quasi-absent from this. A lot of these initiatives have been related to personal initiatives and personal programs, individuals who are interested in the sector, but also international organizations that are interested or that want to support the sector in general. And so there's very little that is actually happening to institutionalize this and to actually start building an ecosystem around it, even though there has been, as I mentioned, some ad hoc or some programs. But also in terms of recommendations or of ways to move forward the sector, there's the issue of
I have a few seconds left, Natalia.
Yeah,
sorry. Thank you.
No, I'm done. No worries. So as I mentioned, the integration of the sector, building on talents, providing some sort of incentives of I want to say social security nets or social safety nets for people to be able to operate in the sector and not lose everything with the crises, especially, sorry, that's the electricity here. So especially that we have so some things that are really making the sector difficult to operate in are the infrastructural challenges that we're facing. So I'll stop there and maybe move with you, Hannah, to the next speaker.
Thank you, Natalia. Thank you so much for your input and insights. It's very good luck with the whole environment, and very amazed to see that it's still going on and being innovative and creative. We'll have 2 minutes to have a few questions, if we can have all the participants on the screen, and we can start with one question about digitalization. Thank you so much. So the question that is being asked is, do you view digitalization more of a threat, as digital piracy is a big issue for CCI workers, especially in the region, or as a big window of opportunity? What are the main actions, policies to make cultural and creative workers make the most of the current digitalization transition? Please feel free to start and to speak as you see fit.
So what I think for myself is that the digitalization is nothing more than duplicating what we can have in the real ground. That means that even if we digitalize CCI activities, we still need same basics, which are laws, which are funding, which are promotion, and the same package. And as you know, in Morocco we have, and even in Africa we have a big the youth are very active in the digital field, and this helps a lot of CCI artists, but in the young category. But the elder ones are not as interested as this by promoting themselves on internet globally. And now, as we see where the world is going with the NFTs and the metaverse and everything, I'm sure that all the elders will not be in it, and we'll just have the young generation that be connected to this new field of the digital way of using of giving life to CCIs.
Thank you, Soufiane. Thank you so much for our guests. We'll stop now for this panel. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll take a short break before coming to the next panel. Thank you so much.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to session number 6, Incubation and Acceleration of CCI. I am Tassos Vasiliadis. I represent the Institute of Entrepreneurship and Development. We are a center of excellence about entrepreneurship in a European level, and we are a partner of project CREACT4MED. It's really an honor for me, and I'm thrilled that I'm going to present to you the results for the call for proposals for business support organizations and incubators as a result of the open call that we have procured last month. I am going to start very quickly my presentation because I know most of you are really worried on the results, but before this, I would like to inform you that in today's presentation, we will have presenting the incubators call and the background of the call. We are also thrilled that we will hear from the winners, their proposal. And of course, if we will have the time, we will discuss about the collaboration opportunities in CCI sectors between incubators, the ecosystem, and how we can create a CCI Med Hub in Mediterranean countries. As you already know, the CREACT4MED activities is trying to support and strengthen CCI entrepreneurship and business opportunity in South Med area. And we are providing direct financial support to BSO, business support organizations in target countries like Egypt, Jordan, Lebanon, Morocco, and Tunisia, in order to implement new quality services and to help culture and creative entrepreneurs to build their own competitive business. And of course, this is more for young people and women in order to support, create their own job and our activities. So the business support organization will receive funding in order to develop incubation services for CCI projects and to provide a variety of mentoring services, matchmaking activities, access to finance, and IPR management services. So I'm going to proceed with the results of the call for proposals. Before I'm going just briefly to tell you about the call, the summary of the call. As I already mentioned, we're targeting in Egypt, Lebanon, Jordan, Morocco, and Tunisia. The call beneficiaries were business support organizations, accelerators, incubators, and all of these seeking to develop incubation services for CCI entrepreneurs. The maximum budget proposal should be 70,500 euros, and the deadline was on the 20th of October last month. Up to now, we received 19 high-quality proposals, and we're really happy about it. And I'm going to share with you right now the results for these. The evaluation process started on early October, and it was finalized until 9th of November with preparation of the final selection reports. So for Egypt, I'm going to see it country by country. We received 4 applications, and we are happy that Nilpreneurs Initiative, they were the winners for this for Egypt, with the average score of the proposal 4.14. For the next country, which is Tunisia, we received 6 applications, and the selected incubator is Minasa from Tunisia with score 4.17. And Nucleus Venture is the winner for Lebanon. In this country, we received 4 applications, and Nucleus Ventures received 4.21. And for the Morocco, 5 applications received for this call, and the selected proposal was from La Startup Factory with a score 4.41. For the Jordan, the winner will be announced shortly because there was an extension for these applications. So congratulations to all the applicants. It was really a fantastic job that all of you have done. And I also would like to congratulate all the applicants, not only for the winners, because they are creating a really a strong ecosystem for the CCI sector. So congratulations to all the panelists, and I will stop sharing my screen right now. Just give me a second just to see all the panelists. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi. So, hello. Thank you very much for being with us today, and it's congratulations to all of you, all the distinguished panelists, and I'm really happy that you are here with us. I would like to start discussing. I'm really anxious to hear about your proposals. Heba, it's Heba Labib from Nilepreneurs Initiative and Nile University, and I'm really happy to hear you, and congratulations for your application. Heba, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. And I'm afraid just the bandwidth here is pretty tight. So that's why I'm not turning on my camera, because I would like to hear you all and would like you to hear me. Well, I'm very thrilled actually to have been selected for being part of such, like I would say, a very strong project in terms of its content, in terms of what it intends to do, or the impact it intends to leave. If you would allow me to speak about Nilepreneurs a little bit. So Nilepreneurs is an initiative funded by the Central Bank of Egypt with the aim of supporting startups and small and medium enterprises working in the domains of manufacturing, agriculture, and digital transformation. And also there was a very strong emphasis on the creative part. Now, the idea was to support the innovativeness for these people through providing several streams, either the educational part or the awareness about entrepreneurship and about how to start and run their businesses. Or there was the other part, which is supporting them in terms of the innovation support in developing the prototypes, providing the technical know-how, matchmaking them with people from the industry who have the nitty-gritties of the manufacturing. And that's how it came to us with the creative part. So our creative incubators, incubator was part of 5 incubators that we have. One of them was on product and package design, one on the creative industries, one on engineering and manufacturing, and 2 in software as a service. And we were one of the very few incubators in Egypt working on the creative industries. And we've had 3 cohorts so far. The first cohort was on smart furniture, smart not only in terms of technology, but in terms of its own design, the maintaining the aesthetics while having multifunctional designs that can fit into smaller apartments, being friendlier to the environment. And then we moved into a bit of home furnishings, allowing more space and more room for creativity. And also we always keep our eyes, besides the creativity, on the environmental impact. And there is where we came to work with startups, having beautiful pieces of creative furniture out of reclaimed wood, utilizing the waste of banana trees in order to make beautiful handmade furniture. While at the same time employing so many women and teaching them a new skill that they have not been taught before. And then there was also maintaining the heritage of the Arabic calligraphy and handwriting and creative skills, while at the same time involving more digital media into that preservation and developing new products such as not only furnishings or ornamentation, but toys So toy packages for young people so that they might learn that ancient art of calligraphy. And then most recently, we had our most recent intake, which was focused mainly on handicrafts. So that sheds the light on the sort of startups and cohorts that we've had for our creative incubator. And once more, we're very happy to have been part of the selection. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Heba. Congratulations for your proposals. You're doing a fantastic job in Egypt, and we're really happy to start working with nowpreneurs. Now let's move on to the second winner, which is Minasa from Tunis. Leah Renault is with us. Thank you very much, Leah, that you are with us today. Leah is currently in charge of supporting startups within Minasa, the incubator of Tunisian cultural and creative scene. So she is in charge of the management and coordination of the support programs for startups and association for the CCI sector. So it's really important to hear what you are doing, and we really would love to hear your next steps and what's your plans, especially how you're going to cooperate with us in this project. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having us today, and we are very happy to have been selected for this call for proposals. Maybe I can share my screen to explain to you what Minasa is doing in Tunisia and what's the new program now, thanks to CREACT4MED. Maybe can you see my screen right now?
Not yet.
No, sorry, it's not this.
Yeah. Now we can see your screen. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So as you said, Minasa is the incubator for cultural and creative scene in Tunisia. Minasa was born in 2019, and it's located in the heart of the Medina in Tunis. So Minasa is an initiative which is supported by INCO and founded by Drosos, which we had a presentation earlier today. So INCO is the global catalyst for the new economy, and its mission is to support all individuals, startups, and businesses that are building an inclusive and sustainable world. INCO is actually present in more than 50 countries in the world, and it has two main activities. It's INCO incubators, which supports green and social startups. You have INCO Academy that trains and accompanies toward employment all people who wish to work in the new economy, the economy of tomorrow. And another part, INCO Venture, which invests in promising startups and companies in the new and inclusive sustainable economy. So Minasa, what do we do? Minasa came to the conclusion that there's a need to structure the cultural and creative entrepreneurial ecosystem in Tunisia, and that the entrepreneur that exists already in Tunisia needs some time to strengthen their skills, financial skills or organizational skills, and that there is a big need of promotion of the cultural scene here in Tunisia. So the aim of Minasa is to reconciling business and creativity. So for this, from this observation, Minasa has developed a program, an incubation program, that has already trained a lot of startups, and you can see pictures of them, some of them. So and all of the startups we support are coming from one of the economic sectors of the CCI. So you have edition, digital arts, audiovisual, etc., like from all of them. And you can see we have already supported 4 cohorts, and you have examples of the startups we have supported since the beginning. So you have startups from the cinema, from the media, from fashion, from handicraft. So here are the cohorts we have helped and trained. And so what do we propose exactly? It's a 6-month program, and it's completely free for the participants. And it's open to every entrepreneur from the CCI. And the criteria of selections are based on the motivation, on the quality and the creativity of their projects. And also, ideally we prefer startups that are on their market test phase. And so the program is divided in 3 main parts. But first, we have a diagnostic, an on-try diagnostic to identify the needs of the new startups that are joining us. And then we adapt this program according to everyone, according to each participant. So we train them on the design thinking, on the business model, and the main part actually of the program focuses on the business plan and on the financial part of the startups to help them to make provisions and to evaluate their needs of investment, so that after that they can go to banks or international organization or to investors. And we have the last part, which is helping them to build their pitch deck and their communication strategy. And so that's all the program, the 6-month program. And now with the CREACT4MED call for application that we had, the idea is to reinforce this program with a new module and with a new program for exportation, to help them to export their products or their solution, because we came to the conclusion that most of them can develop in Tunisia, but it's very difficult for them to access to the international markets because of because they don't know how to do it actually, because we have a lot of legal, economic and financial barriers, and that they have to adapt their business plans and their startups to the international. So the new program that we want to build right now is to strengthen their capacity to go outside the Tunisian frontiers and to spread the cultural and creative Tunisian scene outside of Tunisia. So here are some example of the impacts that Minasa has done since the beginning. So we have more than 2.8 million dinar of cumulative turnover since the beginning of Minasa. It's about 400,000 dinar of funds raised by the startups. And it's about more than 200 jobs created by the startups since the beginning also. And Minasa has also other projects. I will just give you a few words about it. We have the Gate into Tech program, which is a program of formation and trainings for women who have been far from employment since a long time. And it's a 5-week boot camp we train them to digital jobs. And so they have webinars and they have opportunities. And since the beginning, we have trained more than 100 women. We have the new program called metaLAB, and it's the digital laboratory for the cultural and creative scene here. And it's directed to the young graduates and young students from the creative fields in the development of their digital creative business projects. So we are right now in the selection phase of the first 100 students and young graduates who will participate in the program. And at the end, 15 of them will be financed and supported in the launch of their projects. And this project, metaLAB, is supported by Expertise France through the European iNovi Fund. And last but not least program, it's called Sprint Network. And it's the first incubation network dedicated to Francophone green startups. So we have 9 partners incubators in several countries, like France, Tunisia, Morocco, Côte d'Ivoire, etc. And we have like more than 200 startups in the network. And we organize each year, except last year because of COVID, but each year we organize an international prize. It's a ceremony bringing together all the network partners so that the startups can meet, and it's a good opportunity for them to meet and to create bridges between them. So thank you very much for listening to us, and thank you again for CREACT4MED. We are very, very happy to have been selected for this new program. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Leah, for this presentation. Thank you very much for your proposals. I know that you are going to work about helping companies in order to export their product, which is in the heart of our the CREACT4MED, in order to help the CCI sector to work all together. And a specific part of the training program that we are going to develop to CREACT4MED is going to focus on the export. So we're really eager to work with you in this topic. Thank you very much. Congratulations. And I also now want to welcome for Farah Shamash from Nucleus Ventures from Lebanon. Now Farah has more than 10 years of experience in developing and managing entrepreneurship and innovation programs. So she has a lot of experience, and she's a senior program manager at Nucleus Venture. Congratulations. Thank you very much for being with us. And you're doing an excellent job.
Thank you.
I'm really eager to hear what you are doing on Lebanon. The floor is yours.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm just going to share my screen so that I start with just a brief of what is Nucleus Ventures and what we do. So we've been here for a while. It's been almost 8 years, and we are ecosystem builders. We build innovation ecosystems with focus on startups and people, and we do this through 3 main pillars. And this is where we focus on startups through our acceleration programs. And currently we have 4 acceleration programs running in Lebanon, with focus on innovation research through our partnerships with key universities in the country. And this is basically through our tech transfers programs where we help applied research programs in different schools and universities turn their ideas or their projects to commercialize them and turn them into revenue generating businesses, and through our coding boot camps. And this is where we basically offer a series of courses on cybersecurity, coding, etc. to underprivileged students, but we also help them be placed in internships and jobs. So far, we've helped create over 2,000 jobs through the startups that went through our programs, and we've helped the startups grow almost 560% in their valuations. 5 of our startups have scaled globally. We cover almost all industries. We're not focused on specific industries. And currently, through our acceleration program, we have about 72 startups being accelerated. And I can say that almost 20 to 25% of these are creative startups. I just wanted to share some of our most successful startups so far.
We cannot see it in full screen. If you can put it on full screen.
Yeah, sorry, let me go to full screen. Yeah. Okay, so this is just to give you an idea of some of our successful startups. I'm going to skip to I wanted to mention our multifunctional networking and learning tool. And this is an online collaborative tool that we've built in-house. And it kind of complements all our acceleration programs. It will help, it helps the startups basically, it helps us or any other accelerator to manage the whole program. It builds an online community around the program itself. It helps everyone involved, all the stakeholders, the mentors, the trainers, deal makers, potential investors. It helps them manage and progress monitor the progress of the startups in real time, and basically engage with them. The platform is currently in its beta version, and we're launching the new version very soon, hopefully by the beginning of 2022. And it basically manages the whole acceleration journey of every startup. And this is our team. You can see we have people who've been around for quite some time in the entrepreneurship ecosystem, and everyone, each one of us is heavily involved in mentorship and mentoring and coaching all the startups that run through our program. We are also connected globally. I want to emphasize again about on our partnerships with universities here, but also with the fact that we're also based in. We have connections in the UK and also in New York, where one of our founders is. And this is basically where we try to build partnerships to help Lebanese startups scale and find talent. I wanted to share some of our, before I go to explaining what we have, how we envision the acceleration program for the creative startups to go. Spitra and Arcadis and Necess are some of our top performing creative startups. Spitra is a design studio, is in fashion tech, and basically they help fashion designers and fashion houses digitize their entire design journey. Spitra has recently received a grant of $10,000. And it's going through a post-acceleration program we're running in partnership with another accelerator in Lebanon. Arcade is an esports platform. It helps hardcore gamers monetize on their journeys. They've also received $10,000 just very recently. Necess are part of another accelerator program we're running, which is the Energy Innovation Hub. And they basically want to make eco-friendly fashion accessible and affordable to everyone, because currently in the market, eco-friendly labels are very expensive and they cater to niche segments. Necess also received a ticket of $5,000 to work on their proof of concept. I just wanted to share the news about these startups. With regards to our proposal as to how we want to run the program, the acceleration program for creative startups, it's basically built on a notion that, or the idea that, or fact that in Lebanon we have a high percentage of freelance creatives, and basically we want to help them build viable businesses and products that the clients actually need. And this is where we focus on customer feedback sessions and peer-to-peer learning. But also this would help them create more sustainable and higher quality job opportunities. The way we proposed, what we proposed is basically starting off with an entrepreneurial skills workshop. And this is where we open it for up to 50 participants, and we want them to benefit as much as possible. They will mainly be trained on that's going to have design thinking, but also business modeling. And out of these 50 participants, we will choose 20 participants who will go through the startup bootcamp. And this is where we are going to focus mainly on, one second. Okay, and this is where we're going to focus on lean startup methodologies and user experience, ideation, product development, competition analysis, and their go-to-market strategy, but also to teach them about pitching. And the main outcome from this phase is for them to have a proof of concept ready, but also they have also a pitch deck available. And from these 20 participants, we will select the 4 startups who would go through a 6-month incubation program. And this is where they have to take their proof of concept into a minimum viable product and build their go-to-market strategy. And this way we've ensured that we've benefited a higher number of beneficiaries. And we also plan on engaging our partnerships with the universities, particularly their schools of arts and sciences where applicable, and to engage as many mentors and participants as possible. So that's Really, Ed, and thank you again for the
thank you very much.
For the opportunity.
It's really interesting what you're doing, and the program that you're applying has direct links and synergies with the training program that we are preparing. So it is really fantastic to work together with all the incubators and with you in Lebanon in order to facilitate the process for upskilling of the people who need it, especially for the freelancers, as you already mentioned. So we have great work in front of us. Thank you very much.
We're looking forward. Thank you.
Yeah. So for the next panelist is Omar Amrani. I hope I'm pronouncing it well. Omar is the Director of Innovation and Pedagogy in La Startup Factory from Morocco. Congratulations, Omar. Can you see you? Can you open your camera? Yeah. Now we can see you. Thank you very much for being with us. It's really great. Congratulations for the proposal. And we're looking forward to hear about the La Startup Factory.
Thank you very much. I'm very pleased to be with you and to be part of this big family, CREACT4MED. Donc, to present myself, I'm the head of innovation and pedagogy in La Startup Factory. La Startup Factory is a global actor in supporting the innovation ecosystem in Africa. Our mission is to unlock the potential of millions of entrepreneurs in Africa. We are now based in Casablanca, and we also opened our office at Dakar in Senegal. And yeah, it's a pleasure for me to present you our work and the impact we're creating for entrepreneurs. La Startup Factory is we do four things. Our first action we started with this in 6 years ago. It's about supporting young and talented entrepreneurs and also supporting the large corporates to adopt new technology, digital technology. And we started La Startup Factory by doing open innovation programs. So what does open innovation from our understanding? Open innovation is the way we collaborate, we accelerate the collaboration between large corporations and startups. So what we do actually is that we connect with the large groups that have many challenges in digital transformation, and these big corporates want to accelerate their innovation process, to accelerate the product and solution for their customers, and they understand that they can't do it alone. They should open their ecosystem not only to their suppliers and customers, but also try to build connection with startups. And this is where our action is that we try to understand their challenge by doing workshop in design thinking to know what are the needs of the pain points of the customers, and then we organize a call of applicants to find the right startups that already have some great solution based on technology, essentially, because we believe that technology really help the innovation. And we connect them. We select, of course, the best one, those who are really motivated and have some great solution to address. And we connect them to this large corporation, and we try to support them in the co-construction, the co-building of this solution of the future. And one of the programs that really we are really proud of it is a program that we did with a national airplane company. It's called Royal Air Maroc, and we did this full objective. Why we don't do a hackathon with startups and Royal Air Maroc collaborators in a plane? So while in Maroc, we were very surprised that they told us, okay, why not? We can do it. We will take a plane and we will manage it to do this hackathon. So maybe I can show you what it's like. It's not a problem if there is no sound, just to see it.
Please, just maximize your the screen, please, Omar. Thank you. It's really nice.
This is it was really a very special event that I like to always go back when I feel that sometimes I feel tired. We did so many great things with large corporations that really understand the importance of giving the chance to young entrepreneurs, and there were some amazing solutions that actually are implemented in their company for the customers. And not only Royal Air Maroc, but a lot of companies more and more in Morocco are interested in adopting this new technology that are done by young startups. And I want also to, so the open innovation approach is our main business model, because we are a private company, and we don't have special funds that support us to help our action, to do our action. So we do consulting for this large corporation. So they give us money, and with this money we can support startups and also pay our bills and all the people that are working with us to create impact. And the second program I want to talk about in La Startup Factory that is very important to us is that we wanted to be able to all the Moroccans are not really aware of the importance of the young generation that are coming, that understand the technology, that want to change the world. And we wanted to do that by co-producing a special TV show. Maybe you know that is the concept of Shark Tanks in USA. So this is a Moroccan concept, but based on the same philosophy. So we connect in a TV show. We present startups in front of business angels, and they ask for funding, and there's a negotiation between business angel live in TV show. And thanks to this program, 30 million of Moroccan now know what is a startup, what is a business angel, and then start to encourage parents that when sometimes in Morocco, I don't know in other countries, but in Morocco it's very difficult for a young man or woman to start the business, because his parents or her parents told them, you should work in a big corporates and get a salary and not things about other full things. So they don't consider entrepreneurship as a social status that is valuable. So we did this
Omar, we don't have much time.
Yeah. Okay, I will talk about the impact. I will talk about the impact if you want. So just to have an overview of the program we do, the Scalerator is the one that we'll use. It's a 6-month supporting and coaching program with trainings. This is the one when we will train the 6 creative startups in the creative field. And the other program I just talked about. I also want to mention that we developed a digital tool. It is called Platform Startup Square. And with this, we have a database of more than 5,000 startups, and we are able to connect them with all the purchase order, all the big company, by filtering all the technology they use, by filtering also the industry by industry. Is it finance? Is it? So this is a strong tool that we use to really have a strong data that allow us to see what are the programs that are working, the other that are not working, what are the challenges. So this is a strong tool that we use today to do the program. So to finish, I want to present you some key numbers. So for example, I can talk about thanks to all of our program, we have been able to facilitate the more than 100 purchase order between startups and big corporates, and in founding it's more than 33 million dirhams. It's the equivalent of 3 million euro. And yeah, this is some key numbers that I can share with you, and we are very happy that now we are part of the CREACT4 so because our all the ecosystem of the startups, they are not only in finance. It's a global ecosystem, and we are really happy to have this creativity to try to empower this field of creativity and cultural field. So this is what I wanted to share with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mar. Thank you very much. Congratulations for your work and for the proposal that you are developing. You know, it's really important, and Rym also reminds me that it is our ambition to develop a shark tank in the Med that's built on what you are doing in Morocco. So you also have the platform that you have developed, which is fantastic, can be easily linked with the platform of CREACT4MED project. So which is live for the past few weeks. And it will be great to link this information and linking the tools that you already had. And the open innovation programs, it's something that it is very important. And concluding for what you have done, and we can pass to the others, is you at your beginning of your speech, you mentioned about the family. Yes, in CREACT4MED, we're a family. We want to create a hub, a family hub of CCI sector in the Med countries. So it's really important to be with us. So thank you all for your presentations, and I'm really happy to be here with you, and congratulations for the winning. I would like to have a few minutes discussion on how we can see the next steps and how we can ensure the maximum outstretch of CREACT4MED to CCI local actors. That's something important to think of, because one of the main goals of the CREACT4MED project is to work not only with you, that you had great proposals, but all with other actors and stakeholders in CCI sector, and maybe not only, and also in cross-cutting sector. And I would really love to hear your opinion on how we can do it, and to have your ideas on how to boost this innovation. Please, your cameras, please, just to see each other. It's really important to see face to face,
well,
even
unfortunately,
virtually. Yeah, I know, Heba, you cannot. Yeah, please, Heba, let's speak because you don't have too much
bandwidth. Actually, because I'm attending a conference at the same time, and it's beside it's on the Giza Plateau, right beside the pyramids. So the signal here is pretty weak. So I think there is a very strong chance of sharing of expertise. I was very happy to listen to what everyone has been presenting and how is it that they run their programs. And I think there is so much room for sharing of experiences, sharing of resources, and exchange of stories. So, I mean, there's that part that we found brilliant about supporting these startups and exporting. And yes, this is something we do, but we'd love to learn more from the Tunisian experience of how to support the startups and export. The challenges that have been spoken about in Morocco. So there is so much that we can learn from, even the several streams of income as in Lebanon, Farah was discussing. So we'd love to see the different experiences and learn from it. So been part of this consortium, a big part of it is exchange of ideas and exchange of experiences.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Thank you very much, Heba. Leah?
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Heba. That's exactly what we are keen for from the CREACT4MED, and that's a way to reinforce each ecosystem in each country and to create bridges between our countries. And you mentioned the idea of creating a family and a community, and that's exactly what we're trying to do here in Tunisia with Minasa. And we capitalize on the fact that we have an alumni community and that we are connected to the ecosystem, the cultural ecosystem. And that's from this community and from the strong links we have with the ecosystem, that we can pass on opportunities for our startups that can be competition, prices, funding opportunities. So really, this idea of building a community around the Mediterranean is really the main idea, and that should be the big step for your ambition for CREACT4MED. And we're very happy to be part of it.
Thank you very much, Leah. Farah, Omar, would you like to add something?
No, I just wanted to put out some ideas on how to make this more tangible. I cannot agree more with Heba and Leah, but I think we can start with exchanging mentors. I mean, we have a long list of mentors, Lebanon-based mentors. We're happy to connect them to Manassa and Nalpreneurs, Startup Factory. I think we could start with exchanging mentors. But I think we can also, something we can do is, because we're very keen on peer-to-peer learning and we understand the importance of other startups, kind of drilling their peers and giving them ideas and asking them questions. So I think we can arrange for different events, online events for all of our startups. Once we know who the incubated startups are, to start meeting and exchanging ideas, we can so that we can keep this traction and community active.
For sure, we will work on this, and we are planning the next couple of weeks to start discussing together all the incubators and to see how we can collaborate.
We're happy to share our training content. So whatever we create for the startups, we try to digitize it and have some short 5 to 10 minute videos available online so entrepreneurs can go back to them. And there are a lot of resources and tools. We're happy to also share those with fellow startups from other
We will also be very happy to share with you the training content that we are producing just for the CCI sector in MED. So it will be fantastic to elaborate in this content and to work together. In the next couple of weeks, you will hear from us. Omar, would you like to add something about it?
Yeah, I think all have been said. Maybe, like Farah said, we also have developed, I didn't talk very much about it, but it's called the Startup School, and is a global training program that helped the startups with pre-registered training. They see from the beginning to the scale process how to do. So this is also something that we can share. Of course, you talked to us about Startup Square. We have also a very large database of coaches and trainers. So I think there are many things that we can do that are tangible, like Farah said. In the next week, we will think about that, of course.
Thank you very, very much. Please, I will use a couple of minutes from Rym's time just to share with you the dream of CREACT and what we want to do. I hope this time my screen just is visible to everybody. And just to share with you a couple of ideas how we can ensure the maximum outreach of CREACT4MED. We need common actions, as you already mentioned, between the CCI sector, the CCI actors, and to exchange of information that Heba started to mention and all of us agreed, and to share the tools. Today you presented several, and we also have great tools that we can design together and share together, and to have a tech watch or an observatory for the CCI sector in MED, and common trainings, this is obvious. And of course, we can also have common exhibition to have B2B events. For example, maybe we're discussing, Rym had the idea to do it in Barcelona in 2022. It will be really fantastic idea to work together. Because creating a CCI Med Hub is to create new ways of innovation, to reach individuals and businesses with diverse backgrounds and goals, like what you are doing, all of you. And we know that there are several problems: lack of innovative ideas in several businesses, unwanted needs, lack of information of new trends and development in CCI, unavailability of access to different solutions, and of course, lack of funds, as we previously mentioned in other sessions. What we can do in creating our CCI Med Hub is to develop and to co-design the tools and to use the tools that you're having and we are having, and to continue flows of information about CCI sector and to filter this information to our ecosystem actors according to their needs, and not to our needs, but to their needs. And of course, to develop collaborative and supporting mechanism for startups and companies and businesses. So creating a CCI Med Hub is a physical and digital at the same time common ecosystem that we need to develop together that will boost innovation and knowledge and tech transfer and sharing in CCI sector. We started to do this with Rym and with EMEA, and we're really glad to start working with you, with all of you. Thank you very much for this wonderful session, and it is really fantastic to start working with you. Thank you very much, and the floor is to yours, Rym.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Tassos. Thank you, everybody, for this really great sessions, a great day. In these 2 days, we learned a lot. Thanks to all of you. And it only reinforces my idea that there's a lot that has been done, but it's time to consolidate and to join forces, as Imke said. I think without joining our forces, we will continue doing things that are very interesting, but eventually they cannot be scaled up and making a difference and the necessary impact for the CCI in the Mediterranean and Africa. But also there is one very essential point which I want to allude at. It's that the CCI sector in Europe has been very much developed. And I think the juncture point between the Mediterranean, Africa, and Europe is essential to enhance the synergies and this learning from each other to upscale in a quicker manner the development of the sector. So one thing I can say that we cannot just stop here. We should continue the regional initiatives, the national initiatives, because from a bottom-up approach, there is always innovation, creation. I call competition at the same time also cooperation, and it becomes competition. And this is a very important concept where from competition you create efficiencies, you create new practices, you create good practices, but at the same time you cooperate to build on what works. And then again, I repeat, join forces to upscale. And I want to repeat also what has been said this afternoon is that, and said by Jihen, is that we have to work hand in hand in a multi-stakeholder approach. This is essential. And we heard from different stakeholders today, not only from the private sector, but also from the civil society organizations, also from the public sector, and also from the CCI support organizations themselves. So each one can bring something new and can bring something new into the co-development. I think this is essential. We are a research organization, but then we have decided to develop new knowledge and thinking, but then to implement it on the ground. And this is really interesting because it allows us to think, but at the same time to have a feedback thinking to review our ideas and theories from the experimental fields that we are trying to develop and to better understand from you. So I agree very much with Imke today, who recommended that we need to take a little bit more time on the conceptualization phase to ensure that synergies, or I would say complementarities, are developed at first level. But then I also believe that it's good to develop new ideas and then to allow these ideas to prosper and to, I would say, to grow. And then you can take the ideas that are really easily implemented on the ground, and at the same time create the difference, the impact, and also going beyond the economic transformation that we aspire for. But as said yesterday, we need to also think about the behavioral and societal transformation that the CCI and the cultural creativity can bring also to the well-being, the flourishing, and overall to the happiness concept that is, in my view, should go beyond the GDP. Now, another point which was raised today is also raised in the discussion. It's about assessing the strengths and weaknesses of all the initiatives. This is what we're trying in a way to do within the mapping exercise at CREACT4MED, and I turn to my colleagues, Yagane and Maria, to think together with the leaders of all the regional initiative and also national initiatives to really enhance the knowledge about each initiative, and if we to learn from each other as much as possible, and then to also co-develop new indicators to assess how can the CCI contribute decisively to the economic, behavioral, and societal transformation in a scenario of post-COVID-19 recovery. We also heard that the digitalization has been a key pillar for resilience during the pandemic, and some of the CCIs have taken the opportunity to enhance their activities, their market access, their access to finance using this these digitalization, platformization that we've seen over the last years. I also would like to subscribe to what Jihen proposed to develop some sort of marketplace for CCI in the Med and Africa. And I would add to this is to organize a kind of a conference, probably every 2 years, where all the initiatives, either local or regional, should be put together, where they can showcase, collaborate, develop or co-develop indicators, and then really know each other and try to put their hands in their hands, I'll say, hands together to upscale and to move forward. So of course we cannot omit the local initiatives and then that are either spearheaded by the civil society, private sector, or the public sector. I think there is a clear potential to develop private-public partnerships mechanisms, enhance the tax incentives, and also, as some countries are trying to do, is to develop the status for artists. I think this is also important, as many countries are exploring this possibility. And without forgetting to say that sharing experiences, and sharing experiences. I say this 3 times because this is essential, not to duplicate, but rather to build on each other and build on success stories and upscaling them when is possible. So yes, there are many pilots, but all these pilots can really be pooled and enhanced together within this very small sector in reality, which, as I said yesterday, we can see a lot of potential of value creation, of community value creation, and also of societal transformation that we would like to aspire for. Now, for the CREACT4MED specifically, next steps, what we are trying to do in the next months, we have already developed the infrastructure for all of this, as Tassos mentioned. We will launch the CCI Academy in January 2022, so all is being done, is being prepared to train at least 240 CCI entrepreneurs. Each one will get a number of training hours. It's actually max 80 hours per trainees. But then our idea is to develop an open access online training platforms, which will be enhanced over time with the help of Tassos and other collaborators in the training, in training, and also in universities, and trying also to provide some sort of certifications. And we are working in collaboration with a few universities for that, to enhance these training, and it becomes really a training that remains, and it can be used not only by these 240, which are part of the pilot, but rather by all the CCI entrepreneurs, women, youth, and others who are interested to develop their business models and to learn how to upscale their businesses. Second, we will work very closely with the selected incubators that were selected within this cycle of calls of incubation services, to start developing together the Mediterranean CCI hub. And you heard our dream that was presented by Tassos, but I think this dream might become a reality, Tassos, if I hear the work that has been already done by Omar on the Shark Tank for Morocco, and I'm very curious to see how we can upscale it, how we can have a Shark Tank here in Barcelona where we have all the Mediterranean CCIs really accessing money from London, from or from other financial centers in Europe. Activities. Yes, this is the dream, and I hope we will be able to achieve it. Now, based on our modest contribution within the CREACT4MED project, we will provide subgranting to 24 CCI entrepreneurs from the group of trainees, the 240 trainees that we will train over next year. And those will be really showcased to upscale them later on. So hopefully this program will happen between next year and the year after. And then obviously we will continue developing the CCI Observatory. We have already an online platform which I urge you all to register. With this registration, you will be part of the community. You'll be part of the family. I call it more family, and then we will try slowly to develop and co-develop together the subsectors in the CCI. This is important, the subsectors, because for the moment we talk about CCI as a whole, but in reality, every subsector has its own specificities, its own business models, its own environment, and this is something that we still need to work on progressively with each one of you. So again, please share the word, apply to the training academy. So it's still ongoing. There will be another call for the subgranting for the companies. And then please spread the word and then be part of this community. It's very easy, www, as you say there, creativemediterranean.org. And finally, and without, I see the time coming, so I only have 1 minute to close. So I would like to thank again all the contributors to this conference, these 2 days, all the panelists, the moderators, the speakers, all the partners of CREACT4MED, the organizations that have been working with us since the beginning of this project. I want to thank very much the European Union, the European Commission, Ingrid, for being with us yesterday, also Sophie, all the delegations of the European Union who have been really very supportive from the start of the process. It is really very nice to have this family already developing. As I said, it's a niche activity, CCI, but then I believe that the creative and cultural economy will become a pillar for recovery post-COVID-19 pandemic. And I think we are honored to be part of this process. And also, final word, I would like to thank EMEA team. I cannot really, I'm very happy to work with such a great team. Yagane, Maria, Lana, Nectar, George, Cynthia, all of them have been really extremely, I cannot even find the word, which is fantastic. So really extremely committed into CREACT4MED, into this ambitious initiative, and I'm very happy to work with all of them. All the partners for the great work they have put in the project, despite the uncertainties of COVID, despite the changes that have happened in the program, because we have planned all the meetings, for example, face-to-face, but each one of the partners have been very flexible, very understanding to allow us to move into the changes and really achieve what we are achieving today all together. And I would like also to thank very much to SET team, Marta, Eloy, and all the logistics team that made this conference, virtual conference, today a reality, a very nice conference. Thank you very much for supporting us. And thank you all. Stay all safe and see you next time, hopefully face-to-face in São Paulo at our headquarters here in Barcelona. So stay safe all. Thank you very, very much. and you will have all the conference recorded on our platform, on Facebook, on social media. Please share all the information with whoever you think are interested to be part of this community, and then see you next time. Thank you.